How you doing, folks? We're having like a little lightning storm. It's screwing my lights. I had to shut my favorite light off up here. They're just flashing on and off like the sensors on the same circuit. Our electric voltage is low today, so we'll just have to get by with these little lights here, I guess. That'll work just fine, I think. Okay, I can barely see you, but it is what it is. Okay, I got a box today from Wolf Creek Saw Shop in Colorado. Ryan out there has been good to us on this channel, and I know it's been good to a bunch of you guys too. But I ordered these parts Tuesday afternoon from Colorado. They got here today. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, that's what I thought too. 3 days. So let's see what we got here. I already know what I got, but I want to show you a few things. And part of what's in this box is the new titikinel. Is that what they call it? It's a mix of titanium nickel plating on these cylinders. Boy, he treats me good. That's my invoice. He treats me good. Titanical, that's what it is. Okay, packing material. Get this out. There's a reason you need to see this stuff, honestly. It really is. This is what we got. This is something fairly new by Highway. I think I have a brand new Highway cylinder here or something. Let me see where I put it. I didn't put it there. I can find it. I know I can. Of what I normally use. You guys know I've been quite fond of Highway. Let's see what this is this for first. Okay, this is a good one. This is for the big bore 372. And this is really interesting for me. I'm sure it is you too. Okay. I'm going to set this off the side. When I order, I always get the cable rings. Except for one cylinder, I don't get the cable rings for that. Wow. I'm going to talk to you about a whole bunch of shiny right there. Isn't that something? Look at that. That's some kind of shiny stuff. Mm-hmm. Their pistons are even a little different. They're extremely shiny. This is a pop-up. I wonder what they've changed. That looks like a quality piston to me. I'm sorry. That's nice looking stuff, isn't it? And you get a free organ spark plug. Or I did anyway. Okay. What we're going to do is look at these cylinders. That is some kind of crazy beautiful in it. You can see yourself in them. Isn't that nice? Look at them transfers. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is your upper transfers. I got the cylinder upside down. That's some beautiful stuff right there. I'm pretty impressed. I think this is one of the cylinders. I asked Buck and Billy for my first saw I ever sent him to send it back and let me do some upgrades, and he did it. It should be here early in the week. And one of these cylinders is going in it. So, before I put that away, let me try to find, yeah, right here. I want to see what the differences is. This is, I believe, this is a 272 piston in this. Because I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a 272 piston, which is 52 millimeter, and we are going to put this in this cylinder. And it's going to be interesting. Okay, these have got cabers right with them. Okay, let me get that wrist pin out of there. How's your week been, guys? We've had everything broke. Everything. Both trucks. I have 2 1-tons on the road. Both of them. I got one limping a little bit. Okay, this is what I'm used to seeing for color. I think these are just polished to make them look nicer. But boy, I tell you what, they are pretty, ain't they? Anyways, these pistons, the 272 fits in these cylinders. They really do. Right here. See? Perfect fit. But the wrist pin location is a little different. It's lower. So what you got to do is you got to chuck this in your lathe, figure out how much you need to take off, and you take that pop-up, and you're actually making a bigger pop-up. That's what the whole deal is. And this is all stuff that you're going to see done right here. I'm really excited to show you guys a bunch of new stuff that I don't show on the channel. You know, we've been getting into the a little more of the meat and potatoes of these builds. I've covered 2 videos so far. I've probably got another 25, 30 to do. Just on some of the things you do. It's engine theory is what it is. But it'll help you guys. So I got the wrong piston in there. That right there is how I lose these. Okay. Put that back in there. We're going to take the window piston. Put it in the bag. With the caber rings. Okay, the only thing I got to put back in there is this. Okay. And then we stuff that back, and you can't get a nicer container than that, can you? You can't. That proper piston container. Actually, I save these and reuse them. I just have to relabel them. Well, after I relabel them about 4 or 5 times, and I'll forget to scratch one off, and like, well, okay, we're going to sort it out. So, this is the new stuff. I've not used it yet. So I understand people that have used these new titikinel cylinders really like them. So we're going to find out how good we like them too. I can tell you right now, I got an idea that them rings will seat right now. That's the best looking cylinder I've ever seen. The OEM cylinders never look that good. Never. It looks like a chrome cylinder, don't it? You got to treat it like that. Don't hone them. Do not hone them. That is a very, very hard finish. Ain't it, buddy? See, he knows. He'll tell you. He come out here to bug me. Okay, so we got one for a 372. We got 2 for 372. Oh boy, this is going to be so much fun. Here is something special. You guys know them 394s, some 395 Huskies. They're a bear. Man, they run. They really do. They're 56 millimeter bore. Well, I'll tell you what we got right here. We got, get up there, buddy. Just stick it. Oh, you can't stick. He misses. He ain't so wild when I'm out here every day, but I haven't been out here in a week, which you guys know that. This 58 millimeter. So let's take a look at what we think about these. Well, first impression is, that's pretty darn big, isn't it? Oh, pop up. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Nice long skirted piston. That lets me do whatever I want. Nice one. The thing is, my experience so far with these big CC saws that's got a pop up, you can't hardly roll the darn things over. You can't. They roll hard. It is a nice looking piston. It is nice. I like that. I really like that. I don't know if I dare shine a flashlight down this cylinder or not. Oh, you missed your purr box. Oh, isn't that some kind of glory? Isn't that? Yeah, that's nice stuff, isn't it? Boy, them things we're going to do with that. Oh, that's pretty. Got a fairly small combustion chamber for that size saw. See that? I'm going to tell you, that's impressive. That's real impressive. I like it. I like it a lot. Spark plug. Piece of foam. You know, these little pieces of foam come in handy for so many things, especially by just doing that. Now, these are not caber rings. With the 58mm kit for the 394, 395s, you don't get cabers, okay? You get Highway's own ring. But these are good rings. They are. It's just, I don't even have to use cabers. They're that good of a ring anymore. The Highways are. But I do it because it's a brand I trust. And Highway has became, in the last few years, a brand I trust. 5, 6 years ago, if you'd asked me to use them, I don't think so. I would only use OEM. Only. That's all I would use. Boy, things sure changed, don't they, guys? And I lost my box. I gotta find my box. Did you get my box? You did, didn't you? Okay, right here. Decomp plugs. I buy them half a dozen at a time. Great place to get them is Wolf Creek. Okay, these little buggers here, that's a whole bag of them aluminum throttle cable holders for a 372. Those of you that's got 372s know them plastic ones eventually start leaking because the plastic bends. That's a good cure. They will fit out the saws if you get creative. I've put them on 390s, 394s before. 395s, I guess it was 395s, 394 won't fit them. They're blocks. So we got them. And it looks to me like he sent me a new pen. If you get your parts from Wolf Creek, I'll tell you what, if you want to help this channel, give Wolf Creek a try in Colorado. Talk to Ryan. He's been very good to me. Tell him Iron Horse sent ya. I think that's important. That's a way to help this channel. That reinforces to him that my people are buying from him. This is the way it ought to be. If somebody's giving you a break on something, that's what you do. We have parts from other people come in. I have 3 suppliers. Dave at CCC. He's where I get my Weisco pistons and my Cannon bars. And then we get other stuff from another fellow, which I want to show you. I want to show you what we get. Anyways, it's important to take care of these people and take care of me. It helps this channel. It helps me build saws. It helps me build stuff that I really had to wait to buy parts for because I get a discount. and it's big. It's really, it's a real discount. But he's getting good advertising too, as long as we let him know that Iron Horse sent you. Now he's always sending me something to try. He never even said a word about this, and he never does. He sent another aftermarket crankshaft, which I did not know. It's from Highway. I did not know Highway was using them, but let's take a look at them. Let's compare. Let's just really take a peek how nice that is. What do you think? If it had the numbers, you'd swear that one was OEM, wouldn't you? Look at that. Wouldn't you? One thing is important, the file test. I go through a lot of these cranks anymore, because a lot of the saws I get, the cranks are bad. I've never used a Highway. I didn't even know they made them. Ryan, thanks, buddy. We're going to put this in a test saw. It just happens we're building another test saw again. So that's interesting. Pretty excited about that. So, seems how we got that. Let's make another crank comparison. And I'll tell you about a little project I'm working on. This ought to get real interesting for all of us. It really should. In fact, I got a feeling it's going to get interesting faster than I expected. That's some funny plastic they put on these. I think they're put on hot. But it sure does protect these cranks. Well, a little bit. Well, I'm going to have to get my Dremel out just to open up this crank, ain't I? This is a 390 crank. Now, I'm going to tell you something I'm going to try to attempt. I'm not going to say it's going to happen or isn't. But I'm going to attempt it anyway. Well, that's a bit of a surprise. I think I've got an easy job here. I could get these mixed up right in my own hand. That is a 372 crank. That's for the 6202 bearings. Now 390 has got a different set of bearings yet. You see these journals are bigger, right? But I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like everything's the same length from one crank to another. I think the crank length is the same. I really do. You give me just a second. We're going to find out. Because I'm going to make an attempt to put one of these in a 372. 390 crank, that's right. And I'm going to do a lot of freaking work to get 1 millimeter longer stroke. Okay? 1 freaking millimeter. That's almost 40 thousandths, guys. Okay, so this crank, if I can get it. Okay. Let me get to the other one. Measure at the same spot. .75. .137.50. Okay. There is a difference in width, but I don't think it's on this side, really. No. It's on the clutch side. Okay, it's a little longer on the clutch side, and I can tell you right now where all that is. That is so freaking interesting. Let me take another measurement on this. I know we're getting sidetracked. This is supposed to be an unboxing, wasn't it? I'll tell you what I'm doing is I can't help myself. Sometimes I get something in my head and I just gotta roll with it. Okay, so we have 21.44. Okay. Okay, here's what it is. The 390 crank, here is a little longer, which makes it a little longer here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut this end of the crank right here in the lathe. We're going to have to put the clip tool in. We're going to have to turn this down just a bit. And this. Okay, so we're going to have to move our threads right here for the clutch. You know what? There might even be another way around that, but this is what we got to do to get that crank to work. Okay, rod lengths. I think this is freaking interesting stuff. We have a bigger rod. See the big end in the 390 crank right here? This is 372. This is for a 12 millimeter pin. Well, I'll tell you what I found out. This is for a 13 millimeter pin. You take a steel 66 mag or MS 660 bearing for the 13 millimeter pin, and you put it in here, it's automatically converts it for a 12 millimeter pin. So what it'll let us do is build a saw with a 37 millimeter stroke instead of 36 by using the 390 crank and altering it. And we know to put that 66 mag bearing in it, in the small end of the rod. That lets us be able to run a 52 millimeter top end, or 50 if we wanted. Okay, because it converts to 12 millimeter. And so we're going to gain 1 millimeter stroke, 2 millimeter bore over what the stock saw was. My calculator's right on my phone, and I'm using that to make this video. So if we can get this crank to work in one of them, that would be really so nice. And it looks like it's not too hard to do. I'll know when we start machining how it might wreck me a crank or two. Or I might get it first shot. If I just settle in and take my time, I'll get this first shot. But I'll tell you right now, that really intrigued me, seeing that highway crank. It really did. The quality is good. It looks nice. Of course, to be proper, we will do a file test for hardness. But I've handled so much hard metal over the years. I used to work in machine shops off and again during the summer when logging sucked. So I'm something of a machinist. And I can tell hard metal when I feel it and look at it. You just know. Those of you machinists know what I'm talking about. You can look at something, oh man, that's hard. You say that, don't you? You really do. Which is really kind of cool. So we get to try a highway crank and a test saw. And we will. And the test saw is going to be just about spicy enough that if there's a flaw in that highway crank, I'm going to find it. I'll promise you I will. Okay, we're down to the seals and the gaskets. And they're for 272s, 266 to 272s. $3.95. $3.95. And $3.72. Two of them. Okay, we got a lot of nice parts. We got a lot of nice parts here. I'm really excited to see how this works out. I really am. Let me get some of these parts put away. This is a fun video for me. I'll tell you that right now. Let me go grab another piston. I'll be right back. Okay. Now, remember I was telling you with the 390, you could take that 66 mag bearing for the small end of the rod and convert from a 13 to a 12 millimeter pin. Let me show you what I got here. You can read that right here. That's for an MS 661 steel pop up 12 millimeter pin. Boy, that I hate that light not being on, but anyway, that's a 12 millimeter wrist pin right there. This is a 394 piston. That's 13 millimeter. So it's possible in the 394, 395 crank to put this piston on it. All right. This is a 58 millimeter big bore for 395. About 394, 395. Look at that. Isn't that just perfect? That's exact. That's spot on. In fact, that piston's got proper clearance. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, the pin position is very close between the two. It's very, very close. It's probably within 12 thousandths, 15 thousandths. Okay, but this is what I was getting to the other day in a video, where you can go to 58 millimeter with a dome, light piston, light wrist pin, by using that MS 660 and 66 Magnum bearing. Okay, guess what else we can do? Yeah, I told you, we put a 2100 crank in them. We gain 2 millimeters. Yeah, instead of being 38 millimeter stroke, and a 394 or 395, it'll be 40 millimeter. Okay, so that lets me cut about, I'm going to guess 75 thousandths off the top of this and make that dome into a mega dome. Yes, it does. It also makes a 394 into a 106cc saw. You don't have to play with the numbers a lot to figure out that's going to be a lot of fun. And because of that light pin, smaller pin, light piston, it'll hold a lot of RPMs without trouble. But we are going to use the ceramic hybrid bearings in it. And they were supplied to us by Dave at CCC. Same one we get these pistons from. Already got them. So it's going to be a fun build. So you got two fun ones right there we're working on. We're doing something I haven't done before. Well, we're doing two somethings I haven't done before. I've never put a big bore on one. I put a 2100 crank in. But I have done the 2100 cranks in them saws. And they make a nice pulling saw. They really do. They're quite strong. They're a very happy saw to build. They really are. So, hopefully, you've seen some stuff today that leads you to some upcoming views on what we're doing for builds. And get some ideas. Think out of the box. You know, that 390 crank's lining up better than I thought. I knew we was going to have to do things to it. But it is lining up better than I thought. And I'm still not done scheming on that one yet. I still ain't. Because there might be a whole other direction we go. A little further. A little nicer. But this is going to be a fun build, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that. And when Buck and Billy's 371 shows up, we're going to do a nice, comfortable build. On that, we're not going to get crazy stupid. We're just going to get a little bit stupid. Because we have this winter some builds to do for Buck and Billy that'll knock your socks off. And it will his too. Screw it. We might as well build him a sock knocker offer right now, right? That's what I'm thinking. I had something I wanted to share with you that happened, and I'm going to do it on the next video. I had something happen that got me so darn mad that I still can't talk about it without bad words and smoking too much gum, you know, like that. It was something bad. It's about my last trip to Walmart. Next video, guys. Thank you for being here. If you stopped and stayed to the end, you learned the most fun stuff at the very end, didn't you? That's because I love you guys. Take care.